Welcome to Discover Islam, Level 1, Chapter 6. In this lesson, we will study the foundational practices, ethics, and legal aspects of our faith. Let's begin. Branches of religion. God Almighty has prescribed a set of commandments and practical programs that, if followed, promise to manage our worldly lives effectively, ensuring prosperity in this life and righteousness in the hereafter. These commandments are referred to as the branches of the religion. Among them, the most crucial are 8 practices: prayer, fasting, charity, the 1/5 annual saving, Hajj, jihad, encouraging good, and forbidding evil. Prayer. Prayer is fundamental to the religion and serves as a means to draw closer to God. The Holy Prophet has emphasized its importance, stating that those who take prayer lightly will not receive his intercession. Every Muslim is required to perform 5 daily prayers, consisting of different units: 2 in the morning, 4 at noon, 4 in the afternoon, 3 in the evening, and 4 at night. Timing of prayers. Morning prayer is from dawn until sunrise. Noon and afternoon prayers span from midday to sunset. Evening and night prayers last from sunset until approximately 11:15 at night. Ablution. Prior to prayer, ablution must be performed as follows. Intend the ablution for the pleasure of God. Wash the face from the hairline to the chin. Wash both arms from the elbow to the fingertips, starting with the right. Wipe the front part of the head with the wet hand. Wipe the top of the feet, starting with the right. Adhan. The call to prayer. It is recommended to recite the call to prayer, which includes acknowledging the greatness of God, the prophethood of Muhammad, and an invitation to the faithful to come to pray and seek salvation. Iqama, the call to stand for prayer. Just before commencing the prayer, Iqama is recited similarly to Adhan but concludes with Qud Kamati Slah to signal that the prayer is about to begin. Prayer recitation. In prayer, one must declare the intention to offer prayer for God's pleasure. Begin by raising the hands to the ears, saying Allahu Akbar and folding them. Recite the opening chapter of the Quran and another short chapter. Perform ruku, which means bowing, by bending at the waist and placing the hands on the knees. Rise from bowing, saying Sami Allahu Laman Hamida, which means God hears those who praise Him. Proceed to sujood, which means prostration, placing the forehead on the ground, followed by sitting briefly and returning to prostration. Conclude by sitting and reciting the tashahhud and salam. Through these acts, prayer becomes a meditative dialogue with the divine, embodying physical submission, spiritual focus, and a deep connection with God. Submission. During the second unit of the prayer, after completing the recitations of both surahs, lift both hands in front of your face and engage in a special supplication known as kunut. For instance, you might recite, O God, grant us goodness in this world and in the hereafter, and protect us from the torment of the fire. Remember, while kunut is not obligatory, it holds great merit and reward. Testimonies. After rising from the second prostration in any prayer unit, sit and recite the testimonial prayer. All praise is due to Allah. I testify there is no deity but God alone, without partner, and I testify that Muhammad is His servant and messenger. O Allah, bless Muhammad and his progeny. Salutation. In the morning prayer, after completing the testimonies, proceed with the salutation. Peace be upon you, O Prophet, and God's mercy and blessings. Peace be upon us and on the righteous servants of God. Peace be upon you, and God's mercy and blessings. It is also recommended to say Allahu Akbar 3 times while raising the hands to the level of the ears after this. The 4 praises. In the third unit of the evening prayer, and in the third and fourth units of the noon, afternoon, and night prayers, instead of reciting the Surah Al-Fatiha and another surah, recite the following praises 3 times. Glory be to God, praise be to God, there is no deity except God, and God is the greatest. Alternatively, you may recite Surah Al-Fatiha once without another surah. Note: during the evening prayer, after completing the testimonies in the second unit, do not perform the salutation but stand for the third unit. Similarly, in the noon, afternoon, and night prayers, continue to the next units without performing the salutation right after the second unit's testimonies. Important reminders for prayer. Ensure personal cleanliness and that your clothing is clean and permissible, not made from forbidden materials. Maintain ritual purity by ensuring you are free from minor impurities like passing gas and major impurities such as janabat, menstruation, or postnatal bleeding before performing prayers. Essentials of prayer. Prayer involves 5 critical components. Intention. Setting your purpose for the prayer. Takbiratul Ihram. Declaring Allahu Akbar to commence the prayer. Standing. Maintaining an upright posture connected with the act of bowing. Bowing. Bending at the waist, placing hands on knees. Prostrations. Performing 2 full prostrations during the prayer. Failing to correctly perform any of these essentials invalidates the prayer, whether done intentionally or by mistake. Invalidities or cancellation of prayer. Actions that invalidate a prayer include invalid ablution, whether intentional or due to negligence, crying about worldly matters during the prayer, laughing during the prayer, eating or drinking, altering the required components without valid reason, saying Amen after Surah Al-Fatiha, facing away from the Qibla, engaging in conversation, conducting any disorderly actions, clasping hands together, prayer of a traveler. Travelers must adjust their prayers under specific conditions. Intend to travel at least 8 farsakh, which is approximately 48 kilometers. Not routinely travel as part of a profession, like drivers or traders. The journey must not be for illicit purposes. Avoid traveling through their hometown or planning extended stays mid-journey. Reminders for travelers. If staying at a location for 10 days or more, complete prayers are required. Prayers should not be shortened until officially departing the hometown, marked by no longer seeing its buildings or hearing its call to prayer. Prayer of signs. This prayer is obligatory during astronomical events or natural disasters that instill public fear. Perform ablution and face the Qibla with the intention of performing 2 units of the prayer of signs. Start by raising your hands and declaring Allahu Akbar. Recite Surah Al-Fatiha followed by another surah, then bow. Repeat the cycle of standing, reciting, and bowing 5 times. Conclude each unit with a prostration, performing 2 in total. Note: the prayer of signs should be performed from the beginning of the celestial event until its conclusion. Fasting. Fasting is a pivotal obligation in Islam, described by the Holy Prophet as a shield against hell's fire. God has emphasized the significance of fasting, stating, "The fast is for me and I will reward it." This act of worship offers innumerable benefits. Medically, it allows the digestive system to rest, enhancing overall health. Ethically, it cultivates self-discipline and empathy by making the affluent experience the pangs of hunger, thereby fostering compassion towards the needy. Imam al-Sadiq explained, "Fasting was prescribed so that the wealthy might feel the hunger and be moved to help the destitute." Every Muslim is required to fast during the holy month of Ramadan, from dawn until dusk, refraining from actions that invalidate the fast. Actions that invalidate fasting: eating or drinking, inhalation of substantial smoke or dust, inducing vomiting, engaging in sexual intercourse, receiving injections or enemas that have nutritional value, immersing one's head fully in water, making false statements about God or the Prophet, masturbation, not cleansing oneself from major impurities, like after sexual intercourse or a wet dream, menstruation, or postpartum bleeding before dawn. Note: intentionally performing any of these acts voids the fast. However, if done unintentionally or through forgetfulness, the fast remains valid, except for remaining in a state of major impurity. Exceptions for fasting. Certain individuals are exempt from fasting: those who are ill and for whom fasting could worsen their condition, Travelers, under the same conditions outlined for shortened prayers. Women during menstruation or postpartum bleeding. Note: these individuals should break their fast and make it up once the condition allowing the break no longer applies. Pregnant women near delivery and nursing mothers if fasting risks harm to themselves or their children. Compensation. After the conditions change, they should make up the missed fasts and also give 10 seer of wheat to the poor for each missed fast. Elderly men and women who find fasting overly strenuous. Compensation. If they are able to fast later, they should make up the missed fasts. If they are unable to fast at all, they are not required to make up the fasts, but should give 10 seer of wheat to the poor for each missed day. Legal implications of breaking a fast. Anyone breaking a fast without a valid religious reason must make up the missed fast. Additionally, they are required to fast for 60 consecutive days or feed 60 needy individuals for each day of fasting missed without justification. Zakat. Charity. Zakat, or charity, is a fundamental requirement in Islam, emphasized by various teachings. Imam al-Sadiq stated, "One who does not pay zakat is neither a believer nor a Muslim." Imam Muhammad al-Baqir highlighted, Allah has equated zakat with prayer in the Quran. Thus, one who prays but fails to pay zakat has their prayers rejected. Imam al-Rida also remarked, if people paid their zakat, there would be no poverty. Zakat is obligatory on specific items if they exceed certain thresholds: wheat, barley, dates, raisins, cattle, which includes cows, sheep, and camels, and precious metals, which are gold and silver. Zakat requirements for agricultural products. For products like wheat, barley, and raisins, zakat becomes obligatory if the quantity reaches 288 man of Tabriz. Costs incurred in cultivation, such as seed expenses, can be deducted before calculating zakat. Rain-irrigated crops. 1/10 of the produce is due as zakat. Artificially irrigated crops. 1/20 is due. Zakat on livestock. Sheep. Zakat is due on flocks numbering from 40 sheep, with incremental increases per 100 sheep. It only applies if sheep graze naturally for most of the year. Cows. For 30 cows, a 1-year-old calf is given. For 40 cows, a 2-year-old heifer. The calculation continues in multiples of 30 or 40. Zakat on precious metals. Gold. Zakat is due when holdings reach 20 mithqal, which is approximately 18 nahud, or 90 grams, and 1/40th of the total is given. Any addition reaching 4 mithqal necessitates additional zakat. Silver. For holdings of 105 mithqals, which is approximately 450 grams, 1/40th is due. Increases that reach 21 mithqals also require zakat. Conditions for zakat on metals. Zakat is required on gold and silver only if they serve as currency. They have been in the owner's possession for at least 11 months. Utilization of zakat funds. Zakat should be allocated to the poor and needy. Community welfare projects like mosques, schools, and hospitals. Travelers stranded without resources to return home. Individuals overwhelmed by debt. Efforts to free slaves. Outreach to non-Muslims likely to embrace Islam through kindness. Zakat collectors appointed by a religious authority. If zakat obligations were fulfilled, it could significantly reduce poverty and unemployment, fostering societal and infrastructural development. The religious leader could then invest more effectively in civil projects and welfare initiatives. Khums, 1/5 of annual savings. Khums, meaning 1/5, is a crucial financial obligation for Muslims, representing a form of Islamic tax on certain types of income and gains. There are 7 specific instances where khums is applicable. Business profit. Profits generated from trading, agriculture, industry, or any gainful employment or business after deducting expenses for necessities like food, clothing, housing, and other personal expenses within the year. Any remaining amount after these deductions is subject to a 20% khums. Extraction from a mine. This includes resources like gold, silver, oil, iron, and other minerals. Discovery of a treasure. Ancient hidden treasures found in land or property, spoils of war, gains collected from war efforts under Islamic rule, marine finds, valuables like pearls collected through diving and similar activities, land transactions by non-Muslims. If a Jew or Christian buys land from a Muslim, 1/5 of the price or value of the land is due as khums, mixed wealth. When one's wealth is intermixed with money gained through illegitimate means and the proportion of illicit gains is unclear, 1/5 of the total mixed amount should be paid as khums to purify the remainder. Guidelines for paying khums. Payment authority: khums should be paid to a recognized and just Islamic jurist, a religious leader, or their appointed representative. This ensures the funds are used for promoting Islam and supporting the needy, particularly the descendants of the Prophet Muhammad. Economic impact. Proper collection and management of khums can significantly impact the Islamic community by funding social welfare programs, reducing poverty, unemployment, and illiteracy, and supporting community infrastructure projects like hospitals, schools, and roads. Khums serves not only as a religious duty, but also as a tool for economic redistribution and social welfare, ensuring that wealth circulates within the community to help those in need and support communal growth. Hajj. Pilgrimage. Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, is a fundamental duty for every Muslim who is physically and financially able to undertake it at least once in their lifetime. This pilgrimage is viewed as a pinnacle of religious devotion in Islam, providing profound spiritual benefits. It reaffirms faith, connects believers with the divine, and offers lessons in humility, unity, and devotion. During Hajj, Muslims from around the world gather, fostering a sense of global brotherhood, equality, and communal spirit. This congregation allows participants to exchange cultural, social, and economic insights, enhancing understanding and solidarity among different Islamic communities. Eligibility for Hajj. The pilgrimage is obligatory for those who have the financial means to cover the expenses without undue hardship upon return. It ensures that fulfilling this religious duty does not compromise the pilgrim's financial stability or livelihood. Encouraging good and forbidding evil. In Islam, promoting good actions and discouraging wrongful deeds are considered crucial obligations. Every Muslim is encouraged to spread awareness of Islamic duties and virtues and to guide others towards righteousness while dissuading them from misconduct and injustice. This duty, known as Amr bil Maruf, which means commanding what is right, and Nehe an al-Munkar, which means forbidding what is wrong, is pivotal for maintaining the integrity and implementation of Islamic laws. Active participation in these practices ensures that the moral and ethical foundations of the community are upheld, preventing the dominance of corrupt or harmful behaviors. Divine endorsement. These principles are supported by Quranic verses that underscore the importance of communal responsibility in fostering moral integrity and preventing societal decay. The collective practice of these commandments is believed to sustain divine blessings and prevent misfortune. Imam Ali emphasized the significance of sacrificing personal interests for the protection of one's faith and community, highlighting the severe loss encountered when one allows their religious commitments to wane. This dual commandment of promoting good and opposing wrong is not just a religious duty, but a strategy for social reform, ensuring that the community thrives in righteousness and justice, reflecting the grandeur and holistic vision of Islam. Stages of encouragement and prohibition. First stage. Begin with a gentle approach, explaining the virtues and vices of actions clearly and persuasively, encouraging the person to adopt good behavior and abandon harmful practices. Second stage. If gentle persuasion fails, adopt a firmer stance, using more direct and stern communication to emphasize the importance of moral behavior and the consequences of misconduct. Third stage. If mild and stern advisories are ineffective and the situation warrants, take action within the means available to prevent the continuation of wrongful acts, assuming one has the authority and capability to do so. Fourth stage. If all previous efforts have been exhausted without effect, express strong disapproval visibly through one's demeanor and expressions, signaling social displeasure and making it clear that the wrongful behavior leads to social ostracization. Some illegitimate transactions. Prohibited goods, trading items considered inherently unclean or taboo, such as urine, excreta, blood, and carrion. Usurped goods, engaging in the trade of goods obtained through unlawful means. Tools for immoral activities, selling or buying equipment used for gambling or producing illicit entertainment. Interest-based transactions, engaging in trade agreements that involve interest or usury. Alcoholic products. The sale and purchase of intoxicants, including liquor, wine, beer, and other substances that impair judgment. Non-valuable items, trading in items not recognized as valuable assets in Islamic teachings, such as wild animals not meant for domestication or consumption. Adulterated products. Selling products that are misrepresented or mixed with inferior or different substances without the buyer's knowledge, like mixing different types of oils. Enabling harmful practices, selling items like grapes, raisins, or dates to someone known to use them for making alcohol. These guidelines aim to promote ethical trading practices and personal conduct in alignment with Islamic principles, fostering a community grounded in righteousness and mutual respect. Impurities in Islam. Islam identifies certain substances as impure and instructs Muslims to avoid them. Urine and feces of animals considered impure for consumption and that possess flowing blood at the time of slaughter. Animal semen from animals with flowing blood. Animal carcasses of animals with flowing blood that die without proper Islamic slaughtering. Blood from animals with flowing blood. Dogs and pigs that do not reside in the ocean. Unbelievers who do not believe in the Prophet and God. Alcoholic substances, including liquors and beers. Purification agents. Several substances and processes can purify impure items. Water can cleanse any polluted or dirty item. Earth, pure, dry earth, can clean the soles of shoes or tires of vehicles by walking or driving, as long as the filth itself is removed. Sun dries and cleans soil, buildings, and other objects, provided the filth is first removed. Physical removal. Direct removal of filth from an object renders it clean without the need for washing. Transformation. If an impure substance undergoes a complete change, like wood burning to ash, or a transformation in chemical composition, mandatory bath or ghusl. Certain situations require a full-body ritual wash, types of ghusl, required after sexual impurity, menstruation, childbirth bleeding, touching a corpse, and certain other conditions. Procedure for ghusl. Intention. Set a clear intention for the specific type of ghusl. Wash sequence. Start with the entire head and neck, ensuring no part remains dry. Proceed to thoroughly wash the right side of the body, followed by the left side, ensuring complete coverage. Reminders for impure individuals. For those in a state of major impurity. Restrictions. Avoid touching Quranic text, the names of Allah, prophets, or imams. Staying in mosques, placing objects in mosques, reciting verses that require prostration, entering the holy mosque in Mecca. Ghusl requirements. Must perform ghusl before engaging in prayers or fasting. This also applies to women after menstruation or post-childbirth bleeding. Instructions for tayammum. Tayammum, a form of dry ablution using earth, requires the following steps. Intention. Clearly intend to perform tayammum as a substitute for wudu or ghusl. Contact with earth. Press the palms of both hands onto clean earth or dust. Wiping the face. With the palms of both hands, wipe the entire forehead from the hairline to the eyebrows, including the temples. Wiping the hands. Use the left hand to wipe over the back of the right hand from the wrist to the fingertips, and then repeat the process with the right hand on the left. Reminders for tayammum. When water is harmful or unavailable, perform tayammum if using water is detrimental to your health, you cannot access water, or if prayer time is almost over. Suitable materials. Tayammum can be performed with dirt, pebbles, stones, or lumps of earth. Substituting for a bath. If performing tayammum in place of ghusl, after wiping the forehead, reapply your hands to the earth and wipe over both hands again. Prohibited actions. Certain actions are considered impermissible and harmful, including oppression, lying, backbiting, usurping others' property, gambling, usury, and involvement in usurious transactions. Adultery, sodomy, false accusations of adultery, consuming prohibited items such as alcohol, pork, or any impure substances. Murder, disobeying or annoying parents, perjury, using unjust weights in trade, aiding tyrants, and committing acts that lead to societal corruption. Engaging in religious innovation, insulting Muslims, displaying hopelessness towards God's mercy, engaging in bribery or theft. Obligatory duties. Muslims are obligated to fulfill several religious and ethical duties, performing prayers, fasting, encouraging good behavior, and discouraging misconduct. Paying Zakat, paying Khums, performing the Hajj pilgrimage, supporting the oppressed, and witnessing truthfully. Defending the faith, maintaining self-respect, responding to greetings and correspondence, obeying parents, learning and following religious laws, keeping promises, and staying connected with relatives. Following religious guidance. In the absence of direct access to divine commandments from Imam al-Mahdi, Muslims must rely on narrations and traditions from the Holy Prophet and the Ahl al-Bayt. Due to the complexity of understanding religious texts and differentiating between authentic and inauthentic narrations, not everyone is equipped to interpret these sources directly. Jurisprudence and scholarship. Individuals who have devoted years to rigorous study and possess expertise in religious sciences are known as jurisprudents and scholars. They play a critical role in interpreting divine laws and guiding the community by utilizing their extensive knowledge and understanding of Islamic teachings. To understand and fulfill our religious duties, we rely on jurisprudents, who are experts in the field. These scholars, recognized for their deep understanding of Islamic laws, are often consulted by those seeking guidance on complex religious matters. The infallible imams themselves have emphasized the importance of turning to knowledgeable jurisprudence. When choosing a religious leader to follow, which is known as taqlid, it is advised to select a jurisprudent who is notably superior in knowledge, justice, piety, and qualifications, and then to adhere to their directives. Jurisprudents generally agree on most issues, but differences do arise in certain secondary matters. It's crucial to understand that God's command is singular for each issue. Variations in religious decrees among scholars do not imply changes in God's law. The differences among jurisprudents' opinions are not indications that God's law varies with their individual interpretations. Differences in religious decrees can arise from several sources. Uncertainty in interpretation. Sometimes, a jurisprudent might not be able to make a definitive decision about God's command, leading them to opt for precaution to ensure the integrity of God's law is maintained. Varied interpretations of narrations. Discrepancies can also stem from different interpretations of the same narration, which forms the basis for issuing religious decrees. Different scholars might understand the intent of the imam in various ways, leading to distinct fatwas. Contradictory narrations. Often, there are multiple narrations within the same book of traditions that may contradict each other. A jurisprudent must choose which narration to prioritize, which can lead to different conclusions among scholars. These differences in opinions are a natural part of scholarly work and do not undermine the integrity of Islamic jurisprudence. Just as in other fields of expertise, like engineering, specialists may hold differing opinions on specific issues without impacting the overall validity of their professional conclusions. Conclusions on religious guidance. From the discussion above, we can draw 6 conclusions: the necessity of expert consultation, imitation or following, which is taqlid, is a common practice in areas where one lacks expertise. Just as we consult engineers for construction matters, physicians for health issues, and market experts for financial insights, we seek guidance from religious authorities for understanding divine commandments. These authorities specialize in religious laws and are equipped to interpret sacred texts. Foundations of religious decrees. Religious authorities do not base their decrees on personal desires or whims. Their judgments are grounded in the teachings of the Holy Quran and the traditions handed down by the Holy Prophet and the Ahl al-Bayt. Consensus among jurisprudents. Generally, jurisprudents are in agreement on the core commandments of Islam, and even on many secondary matters, there is a significant consensus. Handling differences in minor issues. Differences in minor secondary issues do not stem from a desire to create division, but are a result of earnest efforts to discern God's true command. These differences are based on varying interpretations and understandings of the texts. Jurisprudents aim to convey their best understanding to their followers, who in turn are expected to follow these interpretations as guidance in fulfilling their religious duties. Normalcy of differing opinions. Differences in opinion are a normal part of any specialized field. In other disciplines, such differences are often overlooked and are not seen as detrimental to societal functions. Similarly, the variations among jurisprudents on minor issues should be viewed as normal and not particularly disruptive. Criteria for choosing a jurisprudent. When choosing a jurisprudent to follow, one should opt for someone who not only excels in religious scholarship, but also demonstrates integrity, piety, and a profound commitment to upholding and safeguarding religious laws. Overall, the process of taqlid in religious matters is akin to seeking expert advice in any professional field, emphasizing the importance of guidance from qualified and respected sources in the pursuit of religious understanding and practice.